Previously, we learned that in science, we are trying to acquire knowledge, and we need evidence to acquire this knowledge. There are two types of research methods, qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative research is when a researcher finds images or newspaper clippings, or maybe they even have focus groups to talk to people, and then they find a theme or a pattern from their qualitative data. In quantitative research, we give a number to everything, like how many children you have, but we also give numbers to things that don't seem like they should have numbers, like your emotions. We might have someone rate from 1 to 10 how happy they are, or how their day is going, or their self-esteem. We give numbers to everything. In qualitative research, we use inductive reasoning, meaning that we start with the observations and evidence, and then we build our conclusion or our hypothesis. This is in contrast to quantitative research, where we start with our conclusion or our hypothesis, and then we see if the observations and evidence confirm that. So qualitative research is exploratory, while quantitative research is confirmatory. Again, qualitative research is exploratory, and quantitative research is confirmatory. Now I'm going to bring up a table that summarizes the differences between qualitative and quantitative research. And we're going to look at the differences here. Some of these things I've talked about already, and some of them I may have not already, but we'll go over them now. So the first thing is form of data, or the observations that are collected. In qualitative research, these are images, interviews, focus groups, writings, etc., things like this. In quantitative research, it's numerical, and we quantify the data in some way by operationalizing the variables. The next thing is a scientific method. In qualitative research, it is exploratory, and in quantitative research, it is confirmatory. Now let's go over the analysis. In qualitative research, the researcher identifies themes and patterns that they find in images, interviews, focus groups, writings, etc., and tries to find a common thread through them. And so they just kind of eyeball or kind of critically think about what the theme should be. Versus in quantitative research, we use more rigorous statistical methods, and that will be the focus of this course, is on quantitative research and the statistical methods that we use. Now let's go over the assumptions. In qualitative research, reality is subjective and dynamic, and the researcher should interact with what is being researched. In quantitative research, reality is objective, and the researcher should be separate from what is being researched. So these two things are at odds, but both qualitative and quantitative research make different assumptions. Now let's go over sample size. Generally speaking, the sample size is smaller in a qualitative study over a quantitative study. This is because in a quantitative study, the data is more easily attainable. It's quicker and faster to get quantitative data over qualitative data, generally speaking. And so we'll have more data. And this makes the results of a quantitative design usually more generalizable. Because we have a larger sample, we have more people in our study, so that means we can more likely be able to generalize our results to other people than if we just have like a few people, like 5 people maybe, in a qualitative study, and we can't generalize our results. Keep in mind, this table is not black and white, and things can overlap with each other. This is just a good starting point to understand the two. Now let's go on to the final report. In qualitative research, we have a narrative of findings that includes direct quotations or other examples from individuals. Versus in quantitative research, statistical reports are made and they do not include individual examples. Okay? And that kind of goes on with what we said before. Now, most psychologists use quantitative research over qualitative research because the quantitative research is seen as more objective. But sometimes we need that qualitative research when something is newer and we don't know very much about it. That ends our video.